Welcome to the Plative and Next Technique Field Service Workshop, where today we'll be introducing you to Next Service, the NetSuite native field service management solution. My name is Jake Bosman. I am a senior client partner at Plative, and I'm joined by my esteemed business partner, principal solution consultant from Next Technique, Ben Castles. Plative and Next Technique are partners unified in solving the challenges in field service. Today, we're going to be covering who we are, key perspectives and challenges in the field service industry, and the majority of this meeting will be spent actually seeing a demonstration of use cases in the Next Service application. To start, I'd like to introduce you to Plative. Plative is a top NetSuite Alliance partner and Salesforce Summit partner, as well as AWS consulting partner, with deep AI domain expertise for extending those solutions and the efficiencies gained from them. So let's talk about the state of field service management. The industry, and the field service industry specifically, that line of business for companies is changing and evolving faster than many clients are able to keep up with. And leaders in the field services space have finite employees, finite technicians, finite resources to get the job done right and optimize their profitability and customer experience. The evolution of the market has created some key imperatives for those who want to be leaders in this space. And a couple of them are really focused around technology. Field service management has been increasingly technology driven with the adoption of how we use mobile devices in business, cloud computing, Internet of Things, and AI powered solutions. And these technologies enable real-time communications, remote diagnostics, preventative maintenance, and optimized scheduling. The next business imperative would be integration. And I'm sure a lot of you are in environments where you have separate or siloed solutions. Gone are the days of a completely siloed field services department or operational systems that manage field service in just a separate world. Field service management is increasingly integrated, and not only integrated, but interdependent with customer relationship management tools and enterprise resource planning systems. And this integration streamlines processes, it improves data accuracy, and importantly, it enables seamless information flow and communication between all of the departments that really have to interact in a field services operation. And finally, and I think probably most importantly to any growing business, is customer centricity. There is a growing emphasis on providing exceptional customer experiences, and customers, they expect faster, they expect better, they expect easier. They live in the world of Amazon.com, right? And the way organizations use technology impacts customer choice and it impacts retention of those customers. So field service organizations are focused on improving first-time fix rates, reducing response times, enhancing communication with customers through self-service portals, mobile interactions, automated notifications, and real-time updates for them. Now, I've got a bunch of bubbles up here, and if you're on this call, there's a chance, a pretty good chance, that you've got firsthand experience with some of these challenges in your organization, or that you will. So a lot of quotes. I'm going to focus in on a few, and I'll give you a persona based on that. So Helen, the dispatcher, says, "I can't scale our scheduling using Outlook and Google Calendar. Scheduling is difficult when you don't have the correct information about your people, their skills and jobs. And it's especially difficult to scale on an application that's not purpose-built for field service." So Rodrigo, who's a services manager, has a quote, "Every time that I have to do another truck roll, I'm working for free." How do we make sure that the right technician with the right skills is assigned to the job? Minimize travel, maximize productivity, get profitability from that job. And how do I know for the customer what assets are in the field? The person showing up has the right skill for the job they're going to complete. The job history of that customer. And how do I limit non-generating or revenue generating truck rolls for first-time fix and limit visits per job? Janet, CFO, "Hey, we write off 6 figures worth of inventory every year. How can I get real-time inventory consumption and visibility? Our team has limited inventory and parts management capabilities. We have difficulty tracking and managing inventory levels, stock locations with all of our different trucks, and replenishment. Tom, president, I own a small business and I haven't had a weekend to myself in years. More growth is impossible. It feels impossible for me. Scaling a business does not necessarily mean that you have to add more employees, but sometimes it feels like that's the only way. And I think Tom, the president, probably is looking for more executive visibility into operations so he can be a strategic resource as opposed to skipping his son's soccer game to be working on administrative or field service jobs. So with all of these challenges, we want to introduce to you NetSuite. And NetSuite is one of the most effective tools in the industry, and especially for NetSuite users, it is the most effective tool in the industry for products-based companies, but not just that, it serves many different sub-verticals and micro-verticals, right? So manufacturing, HVAC plumbing, construction services, technology, facilities management, oil and gas, renewable energy, transportation, and many more that you can actually find on the Next Technique website with a number of different customer success stories. And as you can see on the right, there's tangible and measurable business benefits to implementing NetSuite, including driving top-line revenue, reducing your administrative and IT costs, and ultimately driving a better and faster customer experience. And Plative is here to help implement NetSuite for your business. So NetSuite is a native suite app, which means it's built on and within the NetSuite platform. There's no integrations, right? Just valuable data and process improvement over a unified NetSuite database, which is why in the demonstration today, you'll see that NetSuite and NetSuite ERP work as one. And exciting news, on September 25th this year, Oracle announced that it entered into an agreement to acquire Next Technique. So very exciting for any Next Technique customers or future customers, furthering the unification of NetSuite and NetSuite. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and I would like to pass the ball on to Ben Castles from Next Technique to walk you through NetSuite. Ben, I am going to stop sharing my screen here.
Okay, thank you for that lovely introduction, Jacob. And I must say that there is excitement in the NetSuite team about being acquired by Oracle. We're quite excited about it. So this could be my last NetSuite demo for our original company. Anyway, I'm going to be demoing NetSuite at SuiteWorld next week, so you can join us then if you like. Let me just introduce myself a little bit more formally here. So I'm Ben Castles. Oh, you can't see me now. There we go. I'm from Toronto. I've done a number of these demonstrations, nearly 1,500 of them, and my background is computer science. So you'll have to forgive me if I get a little bit nerdy here today, all right? Let's talk about what we're going to be looking at. Everybody likes an agenda, right? So here's our agenda, and they're blocking my face again. We're going to create some jobs here together. We're going to dispatch those jobs on our drag and drop schedule board. We're going to hop on our mobile. We're going to record some time, some inventory, some pictures, all the things that you really want your field techs to be doing in the field. And ultimately, we're going to invoice that job. And that's important. Everybody's nodding. We all want revenue. Of course, we're going to invoice, and then we'll see some profitability at the end. So that's our agenda for today. And then we'll finish up with questions at the end. Okay. I can see Sam's got a raised hand here. Jake, how do we want to handle questions here?
So for questions, please enter your questions in the chat and we will circle back to them on the end, but you can ask them during the presentation as well. And we'll answer them after the demonstration is complete.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. I think it's starting to come through. Okay, can everybody see my drag and drop schedule board?
I can see it, Ben.
All right. And Jake, make sure to interrupt me with questions as they come. I'm fantastic at monotasking, right? So I'm not going to see the questions as they come in. Sorry, everybody. There we go. My first Canadian apology of the day, right? So we are looking at my schedule board, and I know I promised this was going to be agenda item number 3, but consider this a little bit of foreshadowing, right? We're looking at what's going to happen when we create a job. Can everybody see that this is Wednesday the 11th, otherwise known as today? And look at all the jobs we've got here. Can you see all the jobs? I can click on them and get a nice flyout of the info. And on the left here, we have our technicians. Okay, you might recognize this person. That's me, picture from just a few years ago. And notice the skills that the technicians have. Can you see the skills listed? We've got skills here to help us assign the correct technician, right? So under the people filters here, I've got a skills one right here. I can click on it. I can say, show me who has a commercial driver's license. Can you see my 2 technicians with a commercial driver's license? And you might be asking, why do I want to filter by skill? And it goes back to that issue that Rodrigo had where he had extra truck rolls. If you can't get it done the first time, it costs you more money. What if you could filter? What if you could find the correct person with the right skill to get it done the first time? That's really one of the ways that Next Service can help you save money. All right. And the last thing I'm going to point out is my unassigned tasks. So when we create a job together, and we will, that job is going to appear right here, and we're going to be able to drag it in. And just a little hint, we all know who's getting the work assigned today, right? It's going to be me on my mobile device, and there's a sneak peek of that as well. Okay, so this is our schedule board, and I promise we'll talk about this in more detail, but let's get into some dashboarding, right? So I do want to talk about how we're inside NetSuite, how we're part of the Oracle NetSuite database here. So that means that all of your data lives in the same system as your CRM, as your transactions, as your inventory. And when you've got all of that information in the same database, you can produce reports, you can have KPIs, you can have bar charts, you can have graphs, you can have reminders that help you run your business more efficiently. Imagine you had a report such as your unbilled closed jobs that I'm pointing at. Now, when you finish work in the field, your accounts receivables team can hit that invoice button a little bit quicker. That might help your cash flow a little bit, right? Okay, so we're going to go into a quick customer scenario here because we're getting a phone call from a customer. Now, granted, we could get an email, we could get a phone call. These are ways that our customers can communicate with us. And I'm going to use NetSuite's fantastic save search at the top here. Okay, so I'm going to search for a customer called Worldwide Fulfillment. Can you see I can put just a few letters in and the system will show me all of the matching customers. So here's that customer record, a standard NetSuite customer record. And I can see that they have a location in Nevada here, right? And I'm on the phone and the customer is telling me that it's their air conditioner unit that isn't working. And if you're in Nevada without air conditioning, that's something that you're going to be calling about pretty quickly, aren't you? Notice that at the Nevada location, I can track all of the customer's assets. This is the equipment the customer owns. So Next Service will help you track your customer's assets. All right, that's really important because if you sell something, it might be under warranty. Wouldn't it be good to track that? Yes, it would. Let's have a look at this air conditioner unit. Okay, so I'm opening up the record. It's a Carrier Infinity Green Speed, and look, it's got a serial number. We can search by serial number in the system. That's fantastic for finding your records quickly if you've got that scenario, right? Look at the other notes here, or the other fields, internal notes, park and back. I've got the warranty end date, the next PM service date. I've got the service manual all on this record, all at your fingertips so you can find it easily. And the best thing about being inside NetSuite is that you can add all the fields you need to track your data. So you can create fields to track your data, and that information will come through onto the mobile device because the mobile device is pulling that information. It's still NetSuite even when we're on our mobile device. And I'll talk about that in more detail, I promise, as well. Okay, so we're on the call with a customer and we need to create a service order, don't we? So let's do that. Look, I'm clicking on the shortcuts. This is so easy. If you've got your timer out, your stopwatch, let's time me. It usually takes me 10 seconds. Can you see I'm clicking on service order? Yeah, really easy here, right? So we're opening up a service order together, and most of this is automated. I don't have to do much typing here at all. So what we're going to start with is I'm going to select the project. Can you see I've got a project over here? I'm going to classify this work under warranty. The system is telling me it's under warranty. That will save you buckets of time, won't it? There's also a PM project there, but we're going to put this under warranty. And we're going to fill in some details. The fork is bent, fix ASAP. The picking rate is down 50%. So the customer is telling me they're in a little, oh, sorry, that should have been an HVAC. Whew, give me a second here. I need to put in some different notes. Here we go. 1 second. Getting too fancy here. There we go. Look, my air conditioner's on the fritz. It's not blowing cold air. That makes a little bit more sense, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm choosing the customer contact. And we're going to try and solve this over the phone. Hank, is it plugged in? And that solves 5% of your problems if you ask that question. And they'll tell you yes or no. But if you can solve it over the phone, that's the cheapest, best solution for you and the customer. And we're going to mark the status as closed and we're done. If we can't fix it over the phone, we need to roll a truck. We're going to add a site visit here. And I'm going to choose some skills here. Compressors, that's related to air conditioners, right? And we're going to put some information. Bring your ID, park in back, all of that information you want to get to your customer. I've got the start date, and let's give our technician a generous amount of time, 3-hour window, high priority. I'm hitting add, I'm hitting save. So I didn't do a whole lot of typing or clicking here, did I? The system knows it's under warranty. It makes it easy for us to create a service order under warranty. Now that we've got that job there, let's go and dispatch it. We need to get it to somebody to go and do the work. Okay, and we've made this easy for you as well. Here's how we get to our dispatch board. We're going to the field service menu tab, mobile and run. And when I click on that, it opens up our drag and drop schedule board. Let me just give you a little bit more detail about the features here. We're looking at a 3-day view. We've got a 1, 3, 5. You can go all the way up to a full month view if you need it. I typically do my dispatching in a 3-day view because it gives me more information. Can you see how we can track time off for your employees? PTO, yeah? And look at that. Can you see my unassigned tasks? We've got that job right here. Worldwide fulfillment centers. Okay, and I can click on it. This is all the information we put in. Can you see it's a break fix under warranty with the details that we typed in? Bring your ID, park and back. And it's telling me we require the compressors skills. So let's go to our people filters and we'll filter to just people who have that skill. Okay, and we need to assign somebody who's available. Can you see that these people are not available based on the view of the calendar? We also need to assign somebody who is close by. So this is where the map comes in. All right, and we're actually tracking your technicians by latitude and longitude in real time when they're using our app. And not only that, but we're tracking our jobs. Can you see I've got this pin icon? Can you see we just located that job? And conveniently, it's right by one of our technicians. It's like it was planned, isn't it? So what we're going to do here together is we're going to drag this task in. We're going to assign it to our technician. Look how easy that was, right? I'm just dragging it up here. Drag and drop, easy. Should we need to, we could create a crew or a team on the fly. Can you see I'm dragging that down and I'm double booking some people, but I wanted you to see how easy it is to add resources to our jobs. And if we want to move that to another day, look how easy that is too. Okay, so I'll get rid of the teammates here because I'm doing all the work here. And here's how we dispatch. We're just simply going to hit the save button. Okay, now Ben knows that he's got that job. A couple other things I just want to highlight about the schedule board. You can see we're looking at my Southwest region, right? What if I remove the region? We've designed this to help you grow. And by that, you might have more than just a Southwest region, right? Can you see my map now? I've got teams all over the world. What if I want to see just my South team or my North team, right? And you can drill in and see exactly where people are in real time. Different dispatchers can have different regions, different responsibilities, and they don't need to see everybody because they only care about their jobs and their area. All right. Okay, so now we've got that job assigned. Let's go ahead and hop on to our mobile device. And you can see I've got it right here. Now, I often like to show my actual mobile device, but I'm a little bit limited today, so we've got an emulated one. Okay, and I've got this looking like a phone, and maybe it looks a little bit giant. How does it look as an iPad? Let's have a quick peek there. Okay, so it's a responsive mobile app. We support Android, iOS, laptops, desktops, anything with an HTML browser, and there is no app store for our app. So that makes it easier to administer and distribute to everybody. Further to that, we've got offline mode. That means if I'm in a warehouse or a basement or out in the country, I can still see my jobs. I can still record time, inventory, check mark, checklists, signatures, all of that good stuff that you need to record if you're going to successfully invoice. Okay? These things are very important. So, because I've got offline mode, I need to hit the refresh button. I need to pull down a fresh copy of my jobs. They're coming down onto my mobile. Can everybody see that the first job here, Services International, that's already done, right? That's the same job here. And now I've got my worldwide fulfillment job here. Let's click into it. Okay. Look at all the information we've got here. I know where I'm going. I know my asset that's broken. I've got the date, the time, and I've got all that nice job info that we recorded. I can also see my location and where the job is. I can get turn-by-turn directions to get on site. Okay, and what are we going to do first? We're going to start the job. And if I do a little bit of scrolling here, you can see there's quite a little bit that we need to get through. Now, I'm just going to back up a little bit here. I will go and complete this task, but we're going to do something simple. In fact, we're going to do a simple and delicious task. We're going to do a pickup job at the Good Times Donuts. Can everybody see this one? Yeah. So I'm clicking in here, and the reason I'm showing you a simple job is sometimes there's a bit of a sweet spot between simplicity and capturing more information. And I want you to see how flexible the Next Service Mobile can be. Look, I'm going to hit start. What do you think the next step is going to be? All we have to do is hit complete. I told you it was simple, right? Sometimes you need more complexity, like when we're fixing that air conditioner unit. So in this case, remember we hit start, but I'm not allowed to hit complete because of workflow. And workflow in this case means I am required to enter time, I have to do a checklist, and I have to put the status of the job at the end. So in this way, we're forcing your technicians to go through the steps in order. This gives you a fantastic repeatable process. Doesn't matter which tech you send on site, with the correct skill, of course, but they're going to do the same steps in order because the app walks them through it. This helps you grow, it helps you scale because it's simple. Okay, so let's clock in here. We're going to track our time. We're going to track our labor. Can everybody see the labor there? I'm clocking in. Look at that nice timestamp. Now we're going to come back at the end and complete that. I have to do my work first, right? So I've clocked in. Let's have a look at the item here. Okay, all the information about our asset is on this, including a little bit of mapping there. I have the job history. This is important because it shows me who was here last. What did he or she do? Are there any systemic issues that we can identify by simply looking at the job history, right? This makes your technicians look like superstars when you've got that complete history. A lot of my customers like to see a safety form, or rather, it's required to have a job safety assessment type form. Now, this is a really simple one, right? I've got 3 fields I need to fill out. First, the protective clothing. We're going to wear some boots and we're going to put some gloves on, right? Simple. What about equipment required? Maybe you're required to put up barricades or safety harnesses. It's flexible. It's built to digitize your forms. Okay, so this is just an example, but I do want you to pay attention to the signature capture down here, right? Can you see there? That's a world-class penmanship. I know everybody's thinking that. The point is, with our safety forms, I have some customers with 100% compliance for their safety forms, and if you're into percentages, that is one of the highest. Okay. Let's do a job checklist. Imagine having your steps digitized here. That's what we're aiming for, although my demo site here is simple, isn't it? Did you check in? Inspection completed. And now we're going to add some pictures. Typically, when I'm on my actual device, I use my phone and I take pictures. In this case, I'm cheating a bit, right? I already had some pictures here. Can you see the before picture? Can you see what the issue is with the air conditioning? Not enough duct tape, right? Yeah. I'm being a bit silly here, but that's all right. HVAC before, HVAC after. There we go. Okay. So typically 2 pictures before and after is the optimal. It's the least amount of effort, but the most amount of impact in terms of your customer seeing the great work you've done and being happy to pay you. Okay. So we want to be customer focused when we're doing field service, right? Because somebody has to pay us to do the work. We need to do a fantastic job. And not only that, we need to communicate that we've done a fantastic job. So all the info we're collecting, we're going to use that. And I'll show you that. We're going to produce a service report at the very end. Okay. So that's our job checklist. And now while on the job, we're consuming inventory. And if you remember Janet, the CFO, she had an issue with inventory that disappeared. She has to report an embarrassing figure at the end of every year for the inventory that gets written off, right? And that can be 5 or 6 figures. Very not great, right? So maybe as we're working in the field here, we can choose the items that we're consuming. So I'm adding some brackets in, right? A generic consumable. But what if we need to add a compressor? Let's see if I've got a compressor. I don't know if it's the right type, but we'll do an AC compressor. Actually, that is the right type, right? We can consume serialized inventory, consumables. We can add labor items. Pretty much, we're taking things out of the truck or van and we're consuming them in the field. This relieves the quantity from NetSuite, which tracks the inventory, and it applies the cost of the inventory against the job. This is super important if you're consuming things, if you're fixing things. And not only that, if you're doing installations, you can create your transaction ahead of time, and those pieces, maybe you're selling a new air conditioning unit, it can be fulfilled from the field. You can track when the cost should be applied in real time. This is fantastic for real-time profitability. Okay. All right. We've got expenses, and I'm just going to, in the interest of time, I'll skip over that. We're going to go straight to job completion. So the customer is Hank, and I'm showing Hank the work that I've done, and he's happy, and he agrees to sign it, which my manager likes me to get customer to sign it. And then I'm going to sign this as well. There we go. Signature is done. Let's put in some notes here. And usually you use voice to text for this because it's a little bit quicker. Fixed the AC unit. Ben's a man a few words today, so maybe that's enough. You can see we can have up to 4,000 characters. That's a lot of talking if you're using voice to text, but anyway, we're completing the work. Job completed. And I'm hitting save. Now we're expecting to be able to finish our time. Let's punch out our time clock here. I've been talking for about 15 minutes. Let's save that. And now the complete button will be done. Jake, can I just get a quick time check here?
Yeah, 12:05. Another 20 minutes would probably be fine.
Perfect. I just completed the job. Can you see the start time, the end time? That information is already in NetSuite. So what we're going to do now together is we're going to jump back to NetSuite, and we're going to have a look at that info that we recorded. And here's the job. You can see the status says it's in progress. This will change to completed in a couple seconds here as the information updates the schedule board. While we're waiting for that, we're going to look at the service report. So service reports pull together all of that sweet information that we captured in the field. It puts it together in a PDF document that we fire off to our customer. And this is important because I know everything's important today, but this will give you happier customers, right? If you tell them what you did with pictures and signatures and all of the checklists, that leads to referrals, repeat business. It leads to happier customers who will argue with you less when you invoice them. And even if they do argue, you can always say, Hank, why did you sign it if you weren't happy? So my customers tell me that signature capture on the job day of leads to fewer arguments, which leads to higher cash flow. These are bold words coming from me, but this is what my customers say, okay? So this gets fired off to your customer as soon as you hit complete on the mobile. And you can see that job is now done. It's grayed out, it's completed, right? And if we look at some of the notes inside the system, so we're looking at the paperwork here. Can you see that the task is completed? I've got some signatures. I've got all of that good stuff on there. And I also have the time. Now, we only had 15 minutes recorded on here, right? Not a whole lot of time on there. And any of the checklists are also there as well. So now that, sorry, go ahead.
And Ben, just circling back to some of the outcomes, right? Reduction of administrative costs. In your business today, how do you document and keep track of all of the related data, signatures, et cetera? Where does it go and who keeps track of it? Where do they find it? Increased revenue, 5 to 10%. Ben, when you talked about customer satisfaction, retention, the customer experience, that's where some of these outcomes and benchmarks are coming from your visual, just because of the innate unification of NetSuite ERP Next Service Field Service platform.
That's all correct. I do want to touch on invoicing here. So if you remember back on the mobile, we created sales order 524. So I could find that inside NetSuite easily, SO524. Okay, so that was created in NetSuite, and I've got all the items on there. But let's have a look at how our accounting team would find this. Can you see here? I've got my reminder with my unbilled closed cases. Let's open it up. And when I open this up, I can see that at the top of the list is that job we were just looking at, right? So we can click into that job and we can find the sales order. And then when we've got the sales order, we can either bill it if it's a time and materials job, or if it's under warranty where it's going to come through to $0 sales order, okay? But I do want to show you the item fulfillment here. Remember, I told you that inventory we consume comes out of the truck or van, and we're going to track the value of that inventory against the job in real time, and that's done via a fulfillment record inside NetSuite. So here are the parts here, and let's just have a look at the GL impact, right? We've got some credits and debits there. Okay, real-time profitability against the job. And just for the sake of argument, let's just hit bill. Let's generate an invoice here because I want to show you the real-time profitability. I want you to see that we've got some cost that's come through. And now that we've got an invoice generating, that's recognized revenue, right? So that there we go. We're going to have a nice profitability here. Or rather, we'll see if we're profitable, right? Because sometimes we always want to be profitable, but now you'll be able to tell. And if you're not profitable on a job, you'll be able to investigate why. There we go. So we've got that nice invoice there. So if we go to the warranty project, and we're clicking on the warranty project, and I've got this nice profitability report button. And when I click on this, it'll show me all of the service orders under warranty and all of the accumulated costs. Now, revenue doesn't really make sense in this case, but for the sake of the demo, I invoiced it, okay? So you can see we're not doing too bad under this project here. So that was my end-to-end break-fix scenario under warranty. Let's cover some other key functionality for service teams. We're going to cover preventative maintenance or programmed maintenance. So we're going to use a project record for this as well. And we've got 3 fields I want you to pay attention to. Can you see I've got start date, end date, And I also have the type here, which defines the frequency. And when you've got those three figures, you get a program of works. These are all the visits that will be scheduled based upon those factors. So if we manipulate this a bit, if we change the year, what if we add an extra year to this PM contract? Can you see I changed it to 2025? And look, the system is going to generate 2 more visits. All I have to do is hit save. No more typing. That's pretty easy, isn't it? What if I change the frequency to monthly, right? Look at all those visits. You set it up once and the system will create them for you. This is another multiplier of your time because you don't have to enter them all manually anymore. And these also go to the schedule board and we can schedule them. We can drag and drop them, no problem. The other scenario I'm going to cover here is installations. Okay. Now, if it's a simple 1 hour, 1 day installation, we're going to create a job for 1 day. But what if we have a longer term project, right? So if something takes a week or a month or a year, we need to be able to represent that inside NetSuite using a project with project tasks. So this is an extra module inside NetSuite, but it provides that ability to track these longer term installations. So here's a project of type installation, and you can see it's for a different customer here. And I've opened up the schedule, right? So these are all of the jobs. Actually, we've got milestones and project tasks all in line here. Notice we've got start dates, we've got end dates, we've got estimated work here. So this also gives you a nice Gantt chart, right? This shows you the critical path for your project. And we can assign these tasks to our technicians. We can drag and drop them on the schedule board. Let me see if I can find one that is a project task. And I'll just expand this to a 2-week view so we can actually see what a project task looks like. You can see that blue bar at the top. That means we're pulling in that data here. Oh, here we go. Worldwide fulfillment, City of Akron. Can you see these are longer term project tasks, right? They last more than a day. In fact, these ones are a couple weeks in duration. So we can have those short, hey, something's broken, fix it. And we can have those project tasks on the same schedule board to help you manage your resources effectively and efficiently. Okay. Jake, I think that's about it for what I wanted to show today. Why don't we open up for some questions here? And maybe I'll continue to share my screen. So if there's specific questions, I can jump in and show things.
Yes. So we have 2 questions. I think one stemmed from when you were actually creating the job in NetSuite. Can we list multiple types of service on one order? Some covered by warranty, some goodwill, some charged.
Because the billing rules apply at the project level, for instance, under warranty, you typically don't invoice, right? So if you're going to invoice, we need a separate project to track that T&M type work, perhaps. So we would need to divide those up into separate ones. However, if you've got a service order, and you know what, I think this might be best if I illustrate this. Let me go to this PM6 monthly, and I'll just create a service order under this project. Okay. And this one will be, let's call it an install. All right. Now, under the tasks, we can have different types of tasks. Can you see you've got delivery, inspection, pickup? And this gives you some flexibility to define the individual steps you're doing. But in terms of how we're billing, we need to group all the tasks under a specific billing type together. So if you've got warranty work, it's under one. If you've got install, it would be under a separate one. But they would all roll up to the customer and to the specific customer's asset. Okay. And in that way, you can get profitability at the customer and the asset level. Hopefully that answered the question there.
Okay. Thanks, Ben. So next question was, can you tell us which NetSuite modules are required in addition to Next Service? For example, if I don't currently use CRM, projects, etc., will I need to install them, purchase licenses in order to an equal number to my Next Services license?
So I'm going to answer this in two parts. Firstly, I just want to say that Next Service does not require double licensing. Okay, so there's a license to use the mobile device, right? And typically people in the field don't need to use NetSuite. They don't need to create the jobs. They're just doing the work and they're recording time and inventories. There are some cases where you might get a dispatcher who also assigns themselves jobs and needs to use the mobile. That would be the only time you'd need double licensing. Okay. And in terms of the modules, you saw that project module, right? The long tasks. If you want long install tasks or jobs that require more than a week of work, you're going to need to purchase NetSuite's advanced projects or suite projects module. We do need to use CRM because we need customers. We can't create jobs against customers if we don't have that information in there. So we'll need the addresses, the contacts. We'll need to actually use that. So if you're using something like Salesforce, for instance, there are connectors to feed that data through into NetSuite. Okay. Other than that, we don't really need anything else. CRM comes with NetSuite. NetSuite comes with inventory. There are simple projects which we can use out of the box too for warranty and PM work. So yeah, we've designed ourselves to handle a very minimum set of NetSuite modules so we can support the maximum number of customers.
Great. Thanks, Ben. Said. Next question was, are you able to provide customer references from someone who is currently using Next Service NetSuite solution? There's 10,000 professionals that use this solution. Yes, we will be able to provide some use cases there. Next
I believe
question.
we're actually up to 12,000 mobile users as well worldwide. We have 50 micro verticals in terms of the customer base that we support. Yeah, we do have lots of referenceable customers. And I just want you to remember, every one of our customers is also a NetSuite customer. We don't have any non-NetSuite customers because we're built into NetSuite.
Native application built on the NetSuite platform, which is where all the benefits come from, right? Or a lot of them, right? With the administrative side of ERP and field service in one solution. Is there scheduling automation? For instance, if you have 100 plus service orders, can the system schedule them automatically?
At this point, we don't have that. Now we've got a roadmap of features, and one day there will be an optimize button here, which can assign things. I'm not allowed to promise dates. I'm not allowed to talk about. Anyway, that's something that we definitely see the need for and will be built into the project. At the moment, it's done manually, as I showed you. We do have some customers that have on the order of 400 service orders a day that they're scheduling. Sometimes you'll need that human eye, perhaps more than one dispatcher to handle that volume. Okay, depends on the industry and your particular business too, though.
Speaking of industries, next question: is there any any of the customers in the micro verticals that Next Service serves an OEM? Meaning they build the piece of equipment and they service that equipment that they've built without a dealer network.
Yes, we definitely have OEMs on our roster of customers. And I know it's not quite manufacturing, but our parent company, the company that decided they needed this and built it, is a wholesale distributor. So they're not manufacturing, but they're buying things from manufacturers and they're distributing it. So that's, let's call that 70% of that business model, right? So NetSuite can actually track your manufacturing. And if you're creating assembly bill of materials, tracking in NetSuite, we can fulfill those, turn them into customer assets as you sell them to your customers under warranty, create PMs against them. Let's get that recurring revenue, right? The PM service revenue. Fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. Next question was, can we circulate contact information? And I will bring that up on a slide so that you see email addresses, as well as we'll send a follow-up on this call to the attendees and registrants. All right. Any other questions? I'm going to go ahead share. So just up on the screen, first of all, we want to thank everybody for attending the meeting today. We'd like to connect with you about your journey, your mission. Here is some contact information. hello@Plative, info@nexttechnique.com. We're looking forward to talk to you about your specific business, your specific mission, the outcomes you're looking to drive, either as a current NetSuite customer or somebody evaluating the NetSuite solution, Next Service solution as a whole, migrating from whatever applications you're using today. Another question came in, does Next Service work offline?
To create the jobs, you do that inside NetSuite, so that requires a connection. But once you're on the mobile and you've got all the data downloaded, we cache it into the app, so it's available offline. Absolutely. I didn't mention we also have geo-fencing. So when you're within half a mile of the job and you hit start, we're going to know whether you're on site or enjoying the fine wares at Dunkin' Donuts.
All right. I think that does it for questions. We've got one more. Can you accept payment in the field?
We've got a partner that allows us to do that. So it's not native functionality to us, but it's seamless because that partner is also inside NetSuite. So we've got that nice integration there.
All part of obviously the implementation execution that Plative can also help with, right? Big picture.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. Any other questions? Okay. We look forward to talking to you more. Thank you for joining the meeting today. And again, this was recorded, so we'll make sure that it's available to review. If you want to share it with others in your organization, please do. And we look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you, everybody, for your time and for joining. Thank you, Ben. Always a pleasure. Have a great day.
Thank you.